Hi, you guys. Leanne Holitza here with your weekly Oracle check-in. I hope you guys are doing amazing today, December 14th. Most of you who are joining right now already know what the game is. Just put your me please in the comment section and I will get you a card as soon as we do our weekly check-in as a poll. A couple of things, announcements. We just did a cacao ceremony with a sound bath, which was lovely. My husband and I attended. It was very fun. Probably do that again next year. But we have a sound bath with art coming up in January. My Energy Awareness 101 is coming up in January. We are adding a somatic reset thing on Wednesdays at lunchtime. We've got all kinds of cool stuff happening in 2026. And if you haven't signed up for the Intentions and Affirmations class that's coming up at the end of the year to get you set up for your own energy for 2026, that's happening on, I think, the 28th. So, anyway, go check out my events. All right. So we're going to do our yantra deck, which is kind of our start. Then we do a 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be if you're watching later, that's your card, and if you're watching today live, that'll be the start of your reading. And then I'll do the me pleases, and I'll almost always get down to the bottom of the list. So I am using the Female Archangels deck, which honestly, you guys, I didn't even know I had. It was just in the basket today. So I don't know, maybe that was a divine intervention, but we'll see. So I haven't used this deck because I didn't even know I had it, but I listen to your guides anyways. It's not really all about the cards. So it's me listening to your energy too. All right, let's see what the week brings. Okay, so we're starting off being required to be very, very present. Okay, so this week, anchor into the present time. That's always true, but right now more than ever, your helper card is what's blocking your joy. Okay, so be in joy wherever you can, and if joy feels blocked, find ways to just find the small things, right? The little things to go, oh, that okay, everything's okay because I saw that little flash of light or whatever it is. It's just really asking you to be in joy this week. And then at the end of the week, our minds are a little busy, meditation being sideways. It may require a little extra downtime to stay mindful. So that's really what's kind of coming up about that. All right. So the week sounds like it's going to be starting off pretty good, just keeping our heads about us. Let's do the 1, 2, 3s. Okay. So just tune into your heart. This is your first card. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, just tune in, you guys. If you picked 1, you're getting the Archaea Serenity. Weave a new story. All right, I like that message. So this is going with that joy card and kind of finding ways to find joyful stories. There's always something to complain about and there's always something to be grateful for. So this is kind of asking you that this week, if you picked 1, you're being asked to kind of tell yourself a new story. Even with the actual facts that are in front of you, put them together differently, okay? If you picked 2, you're going to be working with Archangel Azrael, okay? So this card says endings and beginnings, okay? And so sometimes we got to close the doors so that we can open new ones. This card is basically indicating that as something goes through to the end, it makes room for the next thing to come through. So this week, let things end because that's making room, okay? If you picked 3, you've got this one. Now it came in the reverse, okay? So it's ancestry, it says, and heal the root. So it's basically, this one is about you creating a relationship with your ancestors and really being in kind of a gratitude for all that they did to weave your life into existence, and to also kind of heal maybe some of the wounds that you accidentally brought through when you didn't know better, like maybe their survival story isn't really your survival story anymore. So work with the ancestors if you picked 3. All right, so here's the me please time. If you get 3 cards in a row, we are going to be calling that good for all of us. So you might as well hang till the end to hear the whole thing. All right, let's get started. Okay, Diane. Ooh, you're working with Archangel Barchael. Barchael? I don't even know. I'm going to listen to your guides about this one. Okay, it says live outside the lines. So what I'm hearing from this card is actually that you are being asked to kind of see where you're being too rigid and just break your routine up about 5%. Okay. So if every day you drink coffee, right when you get up in the morning, maybe drink water first or something, just something to mix things up a little bit, just to kind of get you out of routine so that you can start to get more expansive. Little changes, your guides say, make big shifts. Okay. Seriously wonderful, Courtney. You're working with a guardian angel. Okay. So just asking for support is what this card is saying. This was interesting because there was, we did a guides group on Friday, and it's always interesting to see who the guides bring together to these groups because they always have a theme. And this theme was very much ask us for help, co-create with the universe, do the thing that you are doing, but don't do it alone. And you can't anyways, right? Everybody needs help. All right, Tiff, you're going to work with Archangel Charity. Okay. Or Archia Charity. This says bring in the love. So basically this is just, that's pretty simple, basic information, but just really letting yourself, especially with that joy card being the helper card for the week. This is like, where can you find love? Where can you be in love? How can you just expand love? Getting yourself more and more involved with even self-love and what that means. Okay. Lisa C. Okay, Archangel Raguel, nourish your relationships. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Now, I'm definitely working, hearing from your guides about working with peace and where you can make peace and where you can be in diversity with and still have peace. So maybe we don't agree, but we can be peaceful about it, kind of thing. That's the focus for the week for you. Okay, Kimberly S. Oh, I shuffled. You got it, but you got this guy in reverse. Okay. So nourishing your relationships, but in reverse, I'm hearing from the guides that kind of means that you're starting with yourself, basically. And when you start with yourself, then you can give yourself a chance to acknowledge that, what I see around me reflects who I am and who I'm being to the world. And if I don't see what I like, then maybe working on myself first to see what I can bring in differently. Okay. All right. Robin, Austin, and Chris. Robin. Okay, this guy's good, clearly wants to play. Okay. He came up again, right side up. So Archangel Raguel saying work on your relationships, you guys. So that is it's not a third time to charm because it came up in reverse, but it's close because that guy's coming up and over again. So just really focus, Robin, on relationships this week. And in particular, reach out to those people that you haven't reached out to in a while, and let them know you're thinking of them. Okay. Austin, you got our guardian angel upside down. Okay, so reversed, but basically it's still ask for support, but don't wait until things are hard to ask for support. Go ahead and ask for support early and often, and even ask for the guides to show you or the angels to show you early and often signs. Okay. Chris, for you this week, you also got, you guys, they're playing like this here. You also got upside down guardian angel asking for support. So again, not to wait until things get rough. Go ahead and ask for support now. If you don't know how to receive support, like what's kind of flashing right now is I had, in 2021, I had a pretty major medical issue, and there was people trying to help my husband, but he didn't know how to receive the help because he was so overwhelmed with what was happening. So sometimes you have to get a little bit organized in how you ask for help because it might all come at once. So just think about that, and because it's coming up for you guys, Austin and Chris, that there's something that you could organize your help with. Okay. Okay. Mountain River. Ooh, look at yours. Satellite symbol. Turn on your light. All right. Well, pretty straightforward on that one too, but that sounds like a good message of like, how can you shine? How can you be in your own messages? Bring your messages out is what I'm hearing from your guides, meaning maybe make little videos or like put a little meme out every day with whatever your Akashic records are saying and that kind of thing. Okay. Joe, you're getting 2. Okay. And they're both in reverse. So this one's Archangel Gabriel, which says, speak your truth, along with Archangel Grace or Archaea Grace. More flow, less hustle. Okay. So together, speak your truth and more flow. Okay. Don't hold back. Your wisdom is needed, is what I just heard from the guides. It's really important for you to just kindly say what you're noticing without putting yourself into a place where you have to defend. Just say it. Okay. Denise S. Okay, you're also working with Speak Your Truth in the right side up. Okay, so speak up, be kind, be aware that you don't have to necessarily explain the whole backstory of how you got to the truth. You can just say what the truth is for you and then see what happens, okay? All right, Nicole. Okay, you got Archaea Charity. The second time we've seen this guy bring in love. This girl, whatever. It's in reverse. So, and that's how it was before. So just really working on self-love, the relationship with what is loving, and is it really loving to do the things that you are doing right now? And if you need to set more boundaries around love, meaning, saying, I'm not willing to do that to get love, that's something to look into this week for you. Okay. Taryn, perspective, zoom out and relax. Okay. Things are coming into perspective. The guides are saying that a lot of this like time period for you has been about kind of zooming out, seeing the truth, seeing where you've been kind of manipulated, and get out of that manipulation so you can be able to see, where your kindness pays off and where you genuinely can step in to life. Okay. Stephanie R. You've got zoom out perspective as well. Second time we've seen it, right? Now, this is interesting, you guys, because this deck, it did just appear. I don't know where it came from. I don't even, maybe somebody gave it to me. I don't know. But it is bringing up messages right back to back. So zooming out can be an important message, it sounds like, to really just give yourself some perspective. See, and also I'm hearing small little celebrations, like celebrate where you've come from. Don't necessarily give yourself a mission every day, right? Like you don't have to accomplish. 12. It was 12:12 as we were saying that, by the way. Well, at least in my time zone. All right, Eli. Okay, so you got Archangel Ancestry. If you picked 3 at the beginning, it's doubling down because it did come upside down. Basically, this card is saying to go back and work with your ancestral energy. So where did you come from? What's your family story? What were some survival mechanisms that you can celebrate but not necessarily carry forward? Meaning, like, let's say your family of origin didn't have a lot of food, and so they stockpile or put on weight because of preparing for a famine. You might want to say to your ancestors, thank you for learning to do that. And right now I actually have plenty. So I'm going to kind of upgrade that message. Okay. All right. Kimberly and Juan Carlos. Kimberly, you got upside down balance symbol. Okay. Love will find a way in reverse. So this is like, you don't have to love every minute of it, but it's okay to acknowledge that love helps you get through it rather than like fighting or being in kind of a resentment energy. So work on balancing out the love this week with the joy I just heard from your guides. Juan Carlos. Oh, I shuffled and shuffled. You guys got this message. Okay. So balance symbol. Love will find a way. Give yourselves a chance to just be in love with that, whatever it is. That joy card very much is popping out of like, find the little joys. Everything has a storyline that can be spun in any different direction. Okay. All right. Janelle and Donnie. Janelle, you got this symbol, satellite symbol, turn on your light. right side up. Second time we've seen that, basically saying it's time, it's okay for you to shine the way that you want to shine. You do not have to explain yourself, but do show up every single day with like a little message or a little, or just a little, you got this, that kind of thing. Okay. Donnie, you're working with the new earth upside down. So what this is saying is share your gifts, but maybe the way you've been sharing your gifts isn't the way you want to share them going forward. So this week is a good week to figure out where do you want to share your gifts in a different way than maybe you have in the past, and how can you begin to show up to that, and then let the universe co-create with you. Okay. First, starting with noticing that everything's different, and that's okay. Janice. Ooh, Archangel or Archaea, purity, cleanse and detoxify. Okay, so this week would be a good week for you to be really careful with your health, really careful with what you're ingesting and doing emotionally. Give yourself a chance to really settle into a little bit more of detox time. Okay, time to clear things out. Catherine S. You're working with Archangel Zadkiel in reverse. Strengthen your boundaries, but what I'm hearing from the guides is like strengthen your boundaries, but also notice where your boundaries may be too strong. Like you want to keep going with magnetizing, inviting things in. And I mean, you definitely can set those structures up. I'm hearing though that look into your boundaries and see if you want to lower some of the walls just a little. Okay. National Geographic. You got a new earth right side up. So share your gifts, the ones that you have. I know some of the projects you're working on sounds like you are sharing your gifts. Go be amazing on that. But this week would be a good week to really be generous and open. Okay. Tanya, for you, oh my goodness, you're getting 3 cards. Okay, so you got a leap, spread your wings. You got abundance, step into overflow. And you got archaic grace, more flow, less hustle. Wow. Okay. So it sounds like maybe you're jumping into something big that's going to actually really bring abundance in for you. So give yourself a little bit of awareness around that, because that sounds like a big week for you. This sounds like it's worth taking the risk and jumping into some things because it'll pay off in the long run. Kelly and Matthew. Kelly. Oh, ancestry, right side up. Second time or third time we've seen the card, but first time it's right side up. Okay, this is basically saying work with your ancestors, work with your past. Maybe even set up a little altar for your ancestors. Just kind of through the holidays, maybe pictures of them, celebrating them, remembering them. Okay, and then Matthew in the reverse, Archangel Zadkiel, strengthen your boundaries. So same message as Catherine. This is basically saying, this is a message of like, where do you have too many walls up? And yeah, okay, strengthen the other walls, but don't wear yourself out with the walls that don't need to be there. Give yourself a little deep breath about having those gates up, some places that are not necessarily needing to have gates up. Okay, glad to see Janice is planning to detox and cleanse. Okay, Crystal and family. Crystal, Archangel Gabriel, right side up, speak your truth, 3rd time's a charm. Okay, so that means this is for all of us. I'm going to pull the card up in the book just to see if there's any extra messages. It says, feel the feelings and voice what needs to be said. Time to speak your truth. All right, Archangel Gabriel, whose name reflects divine strength, serves on the white and crystalline ray of harmony, purity, and communication with its counterpart, Archaea Hope Gabriel, also known as Gabriel, helps us tap into our emotional strength so we can be real with ourselves and others. Okay, there's lots more in that to be said in that book, but 3rd time's a charm. Speak your truth. Okay, with kindness. It doesn't have to be harsh, right? All right, Chris, you are bringing this card, 3rd time's a charm. Balance symbol. Okay, so it's upside down though, so it's in reverse. I'm going to pull it up. Reverse meaning, if you are moving through a great change in your life, meditate with the balance symbol to find your center. Okay, so this is if you're dealing with great change, this is the symbol to work with and to work on just finding that balance in your space. Okay, so third time's the charm, that's for all of us. We're going through great change, meditate, center. Genevieve, you've got Archangel Barachiel. Live outside the lines. Do something creative. Explore your different ways of being in the world. Maybe, do something just a little different, a little tweak in your life to see what that kind of brings to your world. Okay. And then Isabel, you are bringing this guy third time's a charm. He was showing up at the beginning quite a bit. Okay. Nourish your relationships. Here we go, you guys. I'm going to pull up the little book. This one really wanted to play. I'm helping you to enjoy loving relationships by bringing renewed life to them. Archangel Raguel is named, reflects divine friendship, serves on the pale blue ray of cooperation and the unity with the counterpart. Archea harmony. Raguel, also known as Actrazel, I don't know if I'm even saying that right, is akin to the emotional shepherd. Okay. So third time's the charm on that one, you guys. Hang out till the end and I'll summarize them. But thank you, Isabel, for bringing that nurturing relationship message back. Christy, Lisa, and Kira. Christy, Archangel Raphael for you. Prioritize your health this week. Okay. Give yourself a lot of time to rest, eat well, exercise, do all the things. Lisa, your focus is fourth time's the charm with the Gabrielle. Okay. So speak your truth. So this is again for all of us, you guys. So listen carefully. I'm going to pull up more messages from the book. It says, by listening to my needs and following through with what supports me, I uplift the world. Okay. It says, basically ask your inner child to flow through and honor them in the day-to-day life. Then close by giving each other a big hug. Thank Gabrielle. Okay. So inner child work too. Fourth time's a charm for all of us to get to work on our inner child. Kira, you are going to work with, fourth time's a charm, Raguel. Relationships really wants to play with us today, you guys. Let's take a look. A little bit more messages. I love that there is freedom and movement in my relationships to grow and become more fulfilling. So more fulfilling relationships. Fourth time's a charm. Let that happen. All right, Heidi M. You are bringing in the guardian angel. This is the third time we've seen it, but we're seeing it in reverse too. So ask for support. Do not wait for your support to be needed. Just go ahead and ask now. Angels, guardians, elementals, guides, they all love it when we give them permission to help us. So give them permission by asking. Okay. Hannah, you're bringing perspective third time's a charm. So zoom out and relax, it says. Okay, so let me bring that up for us. Always have fresh eyes. By staying in divine innocence, it's easier to zoom out of challenges and gain a higher perspective. Sometimes human life is filled with so many hype and dramas that we feel like we need to battle something or someone. Yet what incites conflict is exactly what we can do to bring resolution, which is perspective. Okay, everybody gets some perspective this week. Thank you, Hannah, for bringing the third time's a charm. Miranda, you got New Earth. Share your gifts. Okay, so we've seen this card before. This one came up in reverse for you. So this is like you're doing it a little differently. See what you can do differently. Let yourself have, a moment to really even just like think about what you were like as a child. And maybe get yourself those gifts back online this week with that joy card that we got. Elizabeth, you're working with source in reverse. Okay, so return to oneness inside yourself. Okay, so this is a time where the oneness is not out, it's in. And that's what your guides are kind of pushing into, is saying, like, really find that stillness, that inner center, and see what it brings. Okay. All right, let's see. Kalina, You're the last one on the list right now. So if somebody's hanging out that hasn't said me please yet, feel free to say so. We have a little bit of time here, but Kalina, your card and focus this week is Archangel Raphael. Okay, prioritize your health. It came in reverse. So what I'm hearing from your guides is not to over like control or be rigid about your health, but instead to let your gut, just kind of pay attention to what's good for you. Okay? All right. I'm going to throw one for my husband. Sometimes he brings us a 3 times the charm. So let's see what that says. Oh, no. 5th time is a charm on this one. Archangel Gabriel wants to come again and again this week. Okay, one more little read from the book here. Let's see what they say. All right. It says, his vast presence is like a mirror that reflects only your truth. If you have children or work with kids, ask Gabrielle to help you best cater to their needs. More sensitive and psychic children are incarnating and they require extra attention. Allow the next generation to become your teacher, knowing that it's about as you connect with the children, you're honoring your inner child too. Okay? Woohoo. All right. Oh, Kimberly, you want one for Mark? Let's see what Mark's doing. Mark's focusing on Archaea virtue. Open your heart. Okay. So being a little more aware where that is a way to close down, your heart can be very protective, or you're feeling like you got to back it off and not share it with people because they don't handle it properly, that kind of stuff. All right. Open your heart. Don't be so protective. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to pull, if you're still hanging out, you still have time. You can put me please in there, but I'm going to pull out our messages. Okay. You're going to put them all together. Ready? Zoom out and relax. It's all working out. Work on your relationships, nourish them, let them feed you, help you. Work on balance, going through great change, focus on finding your center, and then focusing also on speaking your truth, working with your inner child, and working with the children. All right. Sounds like we've got our game plan, everybody. I will be here same time, same place next week. I am just posting right before we go live, but I am posting a few minutes early so you can get into the top of the list. But always a good plan to hit subscribe and then the bell button, and it will tell you when I go live, and you'll get your weekly card reading. We'll probably do the last Sunday of this year. We'll probably do a 2026 reading too. So don't miss that. All right, you guys, go be amazing. See you later.